Hey there, it's Egwin from Scope of Life and Beyond Systems. Today we have the next progression, this time already leaving the ground with the hands. So we are moving into one possible first spiral to actually eventually get up from the ground, get in a squatting and eventually into a standing position. Now this is a video that's part of the Developmental Movement series. If you haven't checked out any of the prior videos, I suggest you do so on my channel. There are links in the description below and also at the end of this video. Developmental movement is basically about retraining movement patterns that you used while a baby. And the basic idea behind all that, when you retrain movement patterns that were at the very beginning of your movement journey in this life, then you really retrain the fundamental coordinational and strength patterns in the body that are actually created or were created by you and you alone, because no one ever showed you. When you reset yourself to those basic patterns by retraining some of them, this actually can clear out copies that you made from other people in your movement journey in your life, whether it's your parents, from friends, or whatever. And that's really important because this also gives you an opportunity to recalibrate your system, whether that's after an injury or whatever, because those are the fundamental movement patterns that, when triggered, actually help the body to regenerate a lot faster. Alright, today's progression simply looks like that. We are again starting lying flat on the ground. This time we bring one leg up, the right leg in this case up. The left leg actually pulls over. So I'm rolling my body towards my right leg, so there is action in my hip joint obviously. I'm rolling over and I bring the left leg to the side, then pushing it down and eventually coming completely up onto my right shin and then pull the left leg in. All of this, once again, more in flow. I bring my right leg up, I bring the left foot out and I completely come onto my right leg. The really important thing here is try to do this movement without using your arms to push off. Just place them somewhere where they're not in your way. Right now I just use them out in front to balance a little bit, balance the body weight. The only important thing is just try not to do anything like this, where you actually push off the ground with your right arm. So you lie here, you bring your right leg over, you push the left leg over as well. And now it's really this, find a direction, find the correct angle. Where do you have to push, in this case the left leg, in order to be able to roll onto your right foot? Same goes obviously in reverse. Now when I'm over here, I put out the left leg like so. I bring the right leg over and I try to literally lift my body up and over my left leg and then come in to actually kneel very low. You can get up, but that's not necessary anymore. The really important aspect is happening down here, and also go back down again. Go down and back onto your back. That's the exercise for today. Again, there are many different possible variations. You can use your hands more, you can use your hands less. You can try to pull the hands in completely. Bring the right leg over, and you can have the arms completely close to the body. Just make sure not to push with the elbow, not to push with the palm, and as much as possible also not to push too much with the shoulder. Really make it about this rolling aspect that comes out of your hip area here. This. You roll over. Whoa. 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 So this is extremely strengthening in the core area, works obviously with the hip joints, with opening, closing with the hip joints, and again, like in the very first video that I made about rolling, it's again a little bit about polarities, because if, like I mentioned just before, if you use a certain angle towards which you push your upper leg, that helps a lot in actually creating this internal axis around which you actually roll onto your lower leg. Alright, that's the exercise for today. If you have any questions, leave them in the comment box below. Also, at the beginning, if you're very weak and you don't really know how to exactly perform this movement, jump back to the other videos that we did about rolling, to the other progressions that we did, and slowly build up to this level. That's better than trying to use the hands as a support mechanism, because this whole movement is literally about not using the hands. If still, even if you progress through those different movements over, say, course of 2, 3, 4 weeks, and you still can't do this, then okay, you might have some sort of condition that really makes it necessary to use a little bit of support of your hands. Still better than nothing in terms of it helps you to actually move the joints, at least in that specific posture and in those specific angles. I would still suggest to use that as a last resort if all other aspects fail, but as mentioned, it's better than nothing. And obviously, this is a very specialized exercise. If you're just trying to get on your shin, of course, you would normally use your hands. So if I'm here and I want to roll over here, obviously I would use my hand as some sort of leverage to push off. But in this case, it's really about this training aspect of core, once again, of axis that we create through the body and that mobility of the hip area. Remember, mobility is always the mixture and the combination of strength, flexibility and agility. So meaning, in this case, we need a lot of, for instance, also strength on the outside, on our abductors, in order to actually roll the hip onto the shin. We also need a lot of muscles in the outside leg, and so on. But as mentioned in the last videos, I don't want to go too precise in terms of muscles. Why? Because it engages the conscious mind much too much for those basic exercises. Yes, one could talk about, now like the glutes are engaged, now the inside, the long part of your biceps is engaged, and so on and so on. Yes, we could talk about it on such a level, but it doesn't really help the exercise. If you have questions, leave them in the comment box below. Like, share and subscribe if you want to stay up to date, and also check out the channel for the previous videos in this series. And yeah, just wait for the next progressions. We are going step by step and up until we are really in a standing and eventually walking position. Have a wonderful time. Thanks for watching. See you soon, guys. Bye.